coming up next on the
What I
Inherited
want to
Podcast.
ask now, right? Being a Grammy-nominated artist, how did that come about? Like, cause that's a big deal.
Those
To even
be crying up in here.
and nah, you can they say let it all out. That's a big deal. And
Oh
again,
my God. It was just organic. It just happened.
so how
And then I'm scrolling and I said, what? I'm backtracking. I'm trying to find, because it was like 7:30 in the morning and they run, like, it's like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You watch, okay, nominations for, with that voice.
Yeah.
And it rolls out.
are.
So I had to go back. Listen, if something is for you,
Amen.
it's for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know I spoke it into existence, but honey, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it happened.
And that's the best. It just sound like it's real organic. That's the best way to go. Just like
It was.
when you try to push the envelope so much, things it's like you trying to do the work that God needs, that God's gonna be doing, right? It's like, hey, I'm in control, I can do this and that. But sometimes it's just like
For all the different categories, and then we say, oh, we like this. Okay, I'm gonna vote for this. I'm gonna vote for that.
mm-hmm.
And that's how we end up with the nomination. So enough people found that the project, The Fury, it got nominated for Best Contemporary Blues Album.
Building a legacy, so watch how you study me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined. Getting that paper and stacking it up, no time for no chilling, man. Building a legacy, so watch how you study me. You know it's inherited, ain't no comparison, stacking up guaranteed. Moving so militant, consistent and disciplined.
What's going on? This is Sir Gates. You're now tuned to the Inherited Podcast, and we are back yet from the episode. And today, as always, another special guest in the building. So today, we have Miss Monique Nikkole, Grammy-nominated artist, author, and actress, and so much more. And today, we're just going to get down into the dirty and unpack everything she has going on thus far in her career, her life. You know how we love to do. Go back to the roots, go back to the basics, and see how she got to where she got to now. So without further ado, let's get into it. How you doing, man?
I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Blessed to be alive and here to be doing the interview yet again.
Yes, indeed.
That's good. So look, before I start out my podcast, right, I always get the breakdown of for the Inherited Podcast. I still believe in our past, our future, the present, what we in now. Everything that happened to us in life created who we are today. So that's what we're gonna do today. Just dive into your history, get some past stories, past instances, and of course, future stuff now. But to break the ice, I always have one question that I ask all my guests before we start, right? And I'm gonna answer it as well. So you're not gonna be alone in this, but
Okay.
you're gonna go first, right? So today's question is, how do you stay motivated when faced with negativity or self-doubt?
Ooh, I gotta pray.
I like that one.
Yeah, and step away.
Mm-hmm.
You need to back up and slow everything down. Because a lot of times things can be coming at you quick and you don't want to just react. So if you just slow it down, pray, think about it, plan, and then execute. So
like
that's
that.
how I deal with my problem.
Yeah, no, that's one of the things you said as far as praying. That's always my first go-to. Like no matter what it is, whether it is negativity or self-doubt, praying is always the first resource. And after that, just let God do his thing. And like you say, I'm the type, and my friends will tell you if something is going wrong. Not that it's always good to just shut down and kind of seclude, but I need time to think sometimes. I'm such of a big thinker. I got to process things and just like get away from the chaos and as much as I can. Of course, sometimes you can work in the midst of chaos and still have things work out for your best interest. But for me, it's just one, that prayer. Also just when it comes to self-doubt, just realizing who I am as a person, things I've already did and done and what I'm going to do, and just realizing like, you know who you are. So just get back up on that horse and keep going and keep pushing every day. So this is anything with adversity, right? Just giving yourself that pep talk and just knowing like no matter what people got to say about you, all their opinions and stuff like that. Some people are just haters out here, and some folks, they really just don't know your background, where you from, and what you may be going through in life. So with all that, is just like step into yourself and just bounce back and get going. So that'd be my answer to that question. So that's how I
a
avoid
good
that.
answer, and that is something, especially that part, the self-affirmation, and also quieting the noise, because it's noise.
Yep.
And whatever people got to say about me ain't none of my business.
Facts.
So, yeah, you say what you want, but I know where I am and who I am. And that's what you have to remember too. Like, I have to remember who I am, recenter myself.
Yep. You let people sometimes get in your head so much you easily can forget who you are. You start to believe everything they saying. But it's like now, especially nowadays, people love to run with the negative story. People love to run with the lies. So it's like sometimes just pick your battles and what you're going to address and what you're going to just step forward to. They're not going to care no way. As long as it's controversial or sound good, that's what they want to hear. Sometimes the truth is just so subtle and just like, that's no fun. They don't want to hear. They still going to run with a lie or whatever the narrative anyway. So
the truth is rare.
Very much so.
So, you know, they're going to just run with a lie because it sounds good. So you just run on.
Exactly. But so look, all right. So we want to get to know who you are, right? So just take us back to, I mean, you can go as early as childhood, where you grew up, where you from, just your family and friends. Like, how was that growing up, whether it's during school time, just a household, siblings and stuff. So just take us back to the young Monique and give us a backstory of you.
Oh, wow. Young Monique, jokester, you know, very inquisitive and curious. Grew up in Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. Ingrid and Floyd James Banks' daughter. And, you know, just like, I think my childhood was like pretty typical. You know what I'm saying? I was a big dreamer. I played Skelly. I loved to race. I used to be faster than all the boys on my block.
Oh, man.
You know, and just, you know, just growing up, playing double dutch, going to school, went to public school.
Very much outside.
Yeah, we was outside all day.
Yeah.
Like, these kids don't know nothing about that now.
Not at all, man.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I had a good childhood. You know, I was very loved. I was blessed. You know, my brother, you know, he bullied me. He was 8 years older than me. You know, so I mean, I love my brother. We are so tight. But yeah, it was good.
So how many siblings do you have?
Well, me and my brother are like together.
Okay.
With my mom and dad. My dad since passed in 89. But my father was married before, so he had another 6 previously. So, you know, I'm one of 8.
Are you the, like, what do you say? Are you the
6,
youngest?
7, 8, yeah. I'm the youngest. I'm the baby. I'm the brat.
Oh, me too. I'm the baby of my family.
I am spoiled. Yes. And
You
it's
get
just
what you
what
want.
it is. Yeah, absolutely. But I also don't wait for people to give me anything.
Yeah.
I go get my own. But yeah, I'm spoiled though.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like me being the youngest, my siblings say I was spoiled, but it's like, I don't remember it. But sometimes, like, yeah, I did kind of get what I got. I would say not so much got what I want, but things were just more lenient on me, because it's like they done raised 3 other kids. At this point, you the last one. It's like, all right, whatever. You know, some of that stuff, you know, it was good for them to do it, but sometimes it didn't quite work out in my favor. But then again, you know, I can't complain about being a baby. I still loved it, so it was always a good thing there. So growing up, you just had to say you had both parents in the household?
I did.
So a lot of people sometimes, well, majority I see, especially in the Black community, it's either I'm growing up with his mom or I'm growing up with pops, right? But I tell people a lot of times, like for myself, I grew up with both parents in the household, but some things were still just as if you could only have one parent. So like the trials and tribulations, sometimes just the trauma and just trying to survive growing up, those things were still there, whether you had 2 or 1, because some people feel like, oh, if you had 2 parents, oh, y'all had it easy and da-da-da-da-da. So was that kind of the same for you, or was it still you had some of those same shows as a single parent household?
You know, there's always adversity. I don't care if you're with your mom or you're with just your dad or both parents. Nothing's perfect.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just have to learn how to navigate. And yeah, people would say, oh, well, you had both your parents.
Yeah.
You know, oh, so life should have just been just so easy. I didn't have to deal with anything, which is not the case. It's just that everybody's journey is different and everybody's rocks in the road is in a different way or path, or, you know, but we all have our rough spots.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not, you know, just peaches and roses because you got both parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Life can hit you at any given moment, no matter, you can be the richest people in town, but once God is just life come down the rain, no, you was like, what you gonna do? Like, no matter who's there. But so having said that, how did that play a role in just your creativity, right? Because you're a singer, beautiful voice. Let me add that. Singer, actress, author. So that's a lot of creativity going on. So when did you find out like, hey, I'm this kind of creative and this is what I love to do? Like, when did you feel like it started to conjure up and you actually noticed it and knew like, hey, this is me and this is who I am?
Now, I was told I was singing like from a baby. I just came out singing. Of course, I don't remember that, but it's something I always wanted. People, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be Diana Ross and Irene Cara, but I want to be a bus driver.
Classics.
I want to be a bus driver. So I always had that little tomboy, like big boy toys, want to just learn how to do this or do that. So, yeah, and my father, he worked for the fire department in New York City, Fidney, FDNY, and he was a lieutenant, and he was a singer professionally. So, and he got burned in the industry. So he did not want me
Nowhere near.
He was like, no, go to school, take these civil service tests and, do something else. Ain't gonna be no shucking and jiving in here, as he would say back in the day. Ain't gonna have that. So, yeah, so that played a part in who I was, like having that structure and then having the creativity and then having the curiosity about mechanical things or whatever. So it was like a whole lot going on that I was like a little sponge just soaking it all up. Yeah. I used to draw and stuff. Like, I don't do that anymore, but and designing clothes and just like, I don't know, I just had this thing that, and my mom used to draw. My dad used to draw too. So it was kind of like innate.
So the whole family was pretty much kind of creative, seemed like.
Yeah, and then my brother, he sings, he's producer, he's
and your
a
brother
DJ.
sing too?
Yeah, but he won't, like, he was singing back in the days. It's not something he
Okay.
He probably don't even want me to tell y'all that he sang, but
sorry, bro.
yeah, but yeah, you used to sing. But yeah, that's my bro, my partner. But yeah, we grew up with nothing but music because while they sang, he played the trumpet, so it was always music in the house. So I guess you couldn't help but have it.
Yeah. So tell me this though. See, it sounds like this may be accurate. What was y'all Sundays like in the house? If everybody already singing and stuff, I can guarantee y'all Sundays was
we was Mama was cooking.
Yep.
And she could cook, honey. And Dad had the records going, and then he had the reel-to-reel and the video camera, and we just be in there jamming. And at the time, I was taking like piano lessons and stuff like that.
Yeah, he played the piano too.
Nah, I'm not even gonna claim that. Like, I used to play, and people mean like, "What you mean?" I used to play, but I need to pick it back up again. I really do.
I want to learn so bad,
and I need to pick back up my theory again, and I plan to. Like, I remember, I could read some sheet music and stuff like that, but I'm so rusty. So yeah, Sundays was full of music, and then football too.
Oh yeah, guys had football on Sunday.
My dad had to have his football on a Sunday, so we were eating good and and being creative. I used to always just sit and just watch my dad sing and then sing with him. And we were supposed to actually cut like some demos together, but it never happened. He passed away when I was 14.
Sorry to hear that too.
Yeah, it's in the works though, because I got all his demos still.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go and duet them.
Oh,
I actually got all the tracks made already years ago. I just never got a chance to dig into them. So
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's good. That's like timeless things there, right? The fact that he's not here anymore, but the records he did have and the demos he did made, the fact that you can still, and now in 2024, add to it and it still be relevant, that's just good timeless music. Because some music you hear is just for that time, what's going on then. But you can go all these years later and pick back up where you left off and continue and grow it. That's a beautiful thing.
And you get on something that is like so important, artists. Timeless music, like we really need to be mindful. I mean, I love all this little stuff, whatever, but we age as artists and your fans age.
Yep.
And they not gonna want to hear some of the stuff that's going on today, tomorrow. So timeless music lives forever. And the songs that my dad had were jazz standards. They'll never go away. You talking about stuff like Frank Sinatra type songs and those type of things. Those songs are still relevant and still playing today. You know what I'm saying? So Yeah, like I really need to dig into that. Time has been an issue, but I will do it because the whole album's already produced.
Okay, well, you ain't got much to do then. Just do your part on it.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, like jazz, right? So, what genre? I mean, I know you specifically, but like you said, your dad made music as well. So, because I can hear it in your voice. Like one of the records that you made, and the first thing that came to my mind was just like a like movie soundtrack, or not so. I'm not gonna say opera, but the pockets you was hitting and the tones it was just like I can hear just old school in it. So what, like either to date or back then, like your favorite motivational genre to like let me get into the mood and to know like this is kind of where I'm at with my sound.
The type of music I would listen to, or okay.
Well, I guess like just that genre. Like the songs I feel love. So, yeah, okay, for sure R&B.
Classic R&B. Yeah. I mean, it's just a warm and gooey place with lots of layers and soul.
Yep.
As if it don't have soul, I'm not messing with it. It has to have like even like if I do a contemporary R&B song, I gotta have me some meat and potatoes on my ad libs. Like I'm not gonna sit here and just do these little small cadences and stuff like that. I need to be able to just take it there. Like it just don't, because it's mine. That's what I do. So I need that. I need that real. That the other stuff is fake. I'm not saying that, but I need that. That's what speaks to my soul.
Yeah, like it connects with you, and that's that's like authentic music. It's just as if an artist would just say, "Hey, my favorite artist is Beyonce or Usher or Aretha Franklin. Let me just mimic what they do because I love the sound, this and that." But it's like the authenticity is going to be missing from it. So it's like, one, how can you make timeless music like that? Because it's not true to what you feel, true to what you're thinking, especially in that moment. So the fact that you really digging, hey, these are like what inspires me, but I'm still being true to me and giving my fans and my core what's me and what I love and just being real. So that's a beautiful thing that you got going on with that as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then so a record I want to get into, right? Queen of the Hustle song, okay? How did that come about? Because when I heard it, and I watched the video as well, beautiful video with that.
Thank you.
Queen of the Hustle, it's a powerful song. It speaks to women in totality. So what inspired that, and then the creative process behind it? Can you take us through that journey?
Yes, it started a little over 2 years ago, actually. Although it was so timeful for what was going on today, but midterm elections. Roe was coming up on the ballot. We knew what was going on, what was at stake at that point. And before the midterm elections is when that song came to me and started to create it, put it together. And it was supposed to be almost an ode to women that hustle, because my brother was like, "You the queen of the hustle." He calls me that, like, you do everything. Like, my God, you're the queen of the hustle. So he was like, you need a record like that. So it was supposed to be really about that, but then it turned into more of a woman empowerment. Take a stand, get out and vote in these midterm elections. You can't just wait until November to vote, and you see what happened in between. As a result of that, right? Okay, anyway. So
that's a whole nother story.
It's a whole nother story. So I start writing. I go to the studio. I got like 10 pages of just stuff because I'm just pouring out because there's just so many things. And J. Hot Scott produced it. He's out here. He's in Columbus, Georgia. And Marco Rich also helped me write and organize it, because it was one of those songs where I was so like, I was too close to it. You know what I'm saying?
Being a woman
and
yourself.
He's like, all right. He's like, you got too much here. He's like, you got like 5 songs. I'm like, I know. And so we got it together, and it came together, and that's what we have. Queen of the Hustle.
Yeah, like I said,
so
I love
it morphed into something else because of what I was feeling at the time, being a woman. You know, having a daughter, having sons, and everyone's my daughters and sons. You know, because it's not just about my kids. Everything that happens affects everybody's kids. And you know, like, what are we doing? What's happening with their future?
Exactly.
You're rolling back something that was voted into existence in 1973. Now we're going back to the 1950s, like.
It's like I say, it's sometimes, and of course it's always not so good to talk about politics and certain things, but just dealing with that, just the decisions people can make for other people, I think is just crazy, right? And it's just overall, and of course women's rights in general, but it's just like, how is it possible, or how is it just logically just correct for you to say like, hey, because this is how the United States work or wherever they are in the world, we have the power to say, it's kind of like saying you're not a human being or you're not your own soul. It's like because we're at this level in politics, we're going to sit here and say you can do this, you can't do that. And especially when it comes down to the physical, personal body, that's just like overstepping boundaries. Like, how do you even just agree and sit with yourself knowing at night, oh man, tomorrow I'm going to wake up and try to create this bill and try to revoke this and go back on that just because I have this power to do so. It's like, who gives you the right to do that? And like, why is your mindset the way it is to just say, I'm cool with doing this and whatever happens, happens. Oh, well. But it's like, do you ever sit down and think about your family, your kids, your nieces, nephews, and cousins? Like, it not only does it affect everybody else, but what about your family? And how do they even get behind you to support something like that? So it just boggles my mind sometimes when some of these legislations and these people in politics make certain decisions. I just don't understand it. It's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense because, it's very broad. When you speak of abortion, it's broad. A topic, pregnancies, this, that, and just so you're going to let somebody bleed out almost to death before you do something? No, that's not. No, the mother comes first.
Exactly.
That, like, you didn't think this through because, one, you're sitting in your ivory tower somewhere, disconnected from the rest of the world.
And what's going on?
And you have no connection, nor do you want one. So, because it's by design, and it's about control. It has nothing else to do with anything else but control. That's it. They would love for women not to be able to vote. Like you've even heard about like women not working during this campaign and stuff like that. Like, put us back in the house, barefoot and pregnant. People, man. And, whatever. They're second-class citizens.
Yeah. And I even heard, not to cut you off, it was a clip on social media. I can't remember what state it was from, but they were in like the courthouses going over a bill. And the lady was pretty much saying like, sir, what you're trying to get past here is pretty much just like mass genocide and mass murder with one woman and their children, right? She was like, so you telling me that if a young woman or older woman was to suddenly get raped by someone, she pretty much can't have an abortion to abort that child, or say if they were molested or raped by a parent or a cousin, like you sitting here trying to tell me that they have to live with this for the rest of their lives and not be able to make a decision to say, hey, I want to keep this child or not. And he was just like, you know how politics go. Well, for lack of better terms, I guess that is like, now of course not answering it up front, but this is like, how do you,
the game,
how can you sit with yourself, like hearing that from one, it was a female judge or representative speaking that to him, and just from their point of view, how can you just sit there and just continue like, yep, this is what we want? Like, yeah, but it, like, where are your morals, where are your values, and where is just your human connection as a person to life to just say, yo, this is wrong. Like, why am I sitting here trying to pass a bill to where I can just let anything happen? Like, that stuff is very traumatic. You don't know what that could do psychology to a woman and just physically to a woman to where it can mess them up for life. But you just saying, like you say, your little ivory tower is like, yep, doing that. As long as my money's still coming in, it is what it is. But that clip just made me so frustrated because it's just like, bro, what are you saying here? Are you actually knowing what you're saying here talking about? But I feel for it. I don't think it's right at all. But again, it's the one, sadly, the world we live in right now, and two, the United States, just how things are going. It's like, what are we gonna do besides just keep praying and keep fighting and doing the best we can for the future,
regardless of who's in office. You just really have to. Everything is collaboration. There's strength in numbers, and I don't want now that we're here, and then everyone now just separates. Like we still have a lot that we need to fight for.
Yep.
And you have to understand how we got here. Like I said before, with the midterm elections and not having enough people to come out and vote during those times for the smaller offices that are available. And then the next thing you know, they have the majority because we went to sleep. So, just be proactive and active in the times like now. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not willing to just sit down and just say, okay, they won.
Right.
No. What are we going to do? The squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yep. I like that. It's like I say, it's rough times, but just to just switch gears and bounce back to the music, right? So like I'm not in music now, but like my whole creative kind of career started in music. Like me and my best friend, he introduced me to making music. I used to hop the gate. He lived right behind me and go to his basement. He had a mic on the wall, taped to the wall. He used to just make music. He used to make beats. So I'm familiar with the industry, right? So, but I know for myself, the inspiration and just a setting, it was just that creativity. It kind of was a sense of therapy. It kind of just pulled me away from whatever was going on outside as kids and this and that. Like, let's go into the basement and just. It was just so intriguing to say, I can put my voice over this instrumental and you press these couple of buttons and it may sound like this or sound like that. So when you go into the studio, what is your creative process? Do you like a full studio? Do you like it where it's just you, low lit lights, candles? Like, what is your vibe in the studio to come out and make a great record?
It just depends, because I work in so many different kinds of studios, like even at home. So home is always comfy.
I was about to say, you must prefer home more than
that's a beautiful thing when you could just roll out of bed and create something. But like, I'm not like a producer per se, so it's like I still need to go out or either have tracks sent in or something or the other. But like, I do prefer to be home.
Yeah.
And if not, I like an intimate space. Like, it doesn't have to be like some big sprawling, like cold studio, but those are cool too. Depending on what you're working on. Like, if it's something that's more like hip hop, R&B ish, and it's a bunch of us in there.
May need those vibes.
So that's different. But when I'm doing like not contemporary R&B, but classic R&B, or like my Christmas album or something like that, like a nice, intimate, warm space works for me. And some water or some tea, and I'm good.
Vocals.
Because I don't eat and like work. I gotta do the work and then eat.
And it's all good. Gotta go in and get the work done, because when you're in the studio, sometimes time can be flying like
time
that.
Is money.
When you're in there, and that's the biggest thing. Time is
time
money.
Management. Manage your time, because it's definitely money.
Exactly, right. And then so with your range, so I've heard like I say, the Queen of the Hustle is kind of a very, very much so empowerment song, right? It's called I Feel Love, correct?
Oh yeah! Oh my God, you went back.
Yeah, I was listening. I was like, that's the song I was saying that I heard to where it was like I can hear this on like a movie soundtrack, and the pockets and the range it was hitting there on that song was just like you can really hear your talent in that song, because it wasn't like overpowered with a lot of sounds and the instrumentals and stuff like that. You can really just hear you for that. So that then the song Freak, like you got a lot of different areas you go in music, right? So talk about just your range there, and how do you just bring those things out? Those are kind of three different, I would not say genres, but just three different sets of music. So how do you decide to where, hey, is it just this how I'm feeling today? I want to make me a nice little freaky song today, or hey, I'm just not saying lonely, but I need some love today. So what does that inspiration come from in making those kind of types of songs?
And now it depends. Now, if a producer sends me a track, you said I Feel Love, and if what I feel is real, I don't know if you heard that song, but I Feel Love was a Donna Summer remake.
Okay.
So, that's disco. And so now you there. But
you got everything,
some of the best vocalists were disco artists. They could sing, back then. So it was just nice that, he was like, yeah, let's do this. So my inspiration is more coming from that era, because that's my sweet spot too. That's the stuff I like, really, really like. I could dig in, because I love going way up and down and just playing with different textures and stuff. So my creative process for that is really channeling, that old school disco sound, those queens of disco. Now for like something that's more like a ballad, it could come from different places. Like if what I feel is real, it's produced by John Halcott. He sent me that track, and immediately, like the hook came,
yeah.
everything came.
That's how you know you got
came,
one. Yeah.
and it came, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it just depends. Like the inspiration could come from all different places, you know. Or sometimes I could dream a song, and I get mad sometimes when you wake up and you try to remember
And it's gone.
the chords or whatever, and then it's gone. That just happened to me 2 nights ago. I was mad because I knew that song was a hit in my dream. But it just depends. Or you might just hear something that just triggers this thing in you, and then you just go there. So yeah, it's kind of a mix.
Yeah, I can relate because like sometimes me and the guys go in the studio, even though it's just more so a rap, but it's just like sometimes when you think so hard to like write a record, it just sometimes you just lose it. But if you actually just let me not think about what I want to do, but like of course get in tune and tap to whether my emotions that day or what I may have went through that morning or the day before. There's so much current things right now. And go in there. You're going through the productions and you're going through the instruments and soundtracks, and it's like you said, if you can come up with a hook or whatever when as soon as you hear it, go with those sounds. That's how you know that those sonic sounds and the vibrations and the BPMs and all that, it did something to your soul and your spirit to say, hey, we kind of connecting right here. So let's roll with this, and then it's gonna flow and flow. And that's how I feel like this is the best way to do it versus just, okay, this beat may sound good, but did it react to feeling inside of your spirit? Like, did it make you, oh, what's that? Like, that's, man. So
yeah, because sometimes it's just not for you. Like, I'll just skip. Oh.
What was that?
Yeah, I can mess with this right here. You know what I'm saying? And you just fall right in the pocket. You know? If you want to be in the pocket, you can anticipate it, or you could be delayed depending on how you want to do your vocals.
You better get on some game real quick.
Yeah, it just depends, you know, what you're doing with it. But yeah. So it's nice when you could just draw from the track. Is nice.
Yeah.
I mean that actually is easier when you have the track, and then sometimes it's just something that pops in your head.
So have you ever, like, just for instance, not even with a soundtrack or whatever, you just wrote a song just without the sound and then went to the studio and built off of that?
Yeah. So now we go in there and this is what I got. And then, oh yeah, that's nice when you could just build it around the melodies that you've already created. You know what I'm saying?
That's that creativity right there, man.
Yeah.
It's lovely. So what I want to ask now, right? Being a Grammy-nominated artist, how did that come about? Like, because that's a big deal.
Don't start me crying up in here.
And nah, you can. They say let it all out. That's a big deal. And again,
oh my God,
here your flowers for that. Because a lot of people, dreams even be to have their name next to the word Grammy, let alone nominated. So talk about that journey, that path, and how did you get to that point, and how did that come about?
Y'all ain't gonna believe this, but
I love stories. Just start with that.
Y'all not gonna believe this. All right, so Antonio Vergara reaches out to me. He's, oh my God, is he in? He's in somewhere like in Spain or something. God forgive me. And he sent me a song, and he asked me to feature on it. And I was in the middle of like just doing a million things, and I'm like, okay, I know I got time. And then, like, I wasn't. And then he's like, you know what? Let's do this one. He must have knew. It just didn't connect. Yeah. Right? So I did spoken word, right? Submitted it, said it, forget it, moving on, running around. I go on social media and found out I got nominated.
Oh, man.
I didn't even wake up to watch the nominations come down. I'm a voting member. I've been a voting member for years. And I didn't submit any of my work this past year. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it. I don't know. I can't explain why. I just didn't. And last year was the first year that I did not attend. And I said, I'm not going. And the team was like, why not? I just don't want to go. Been there, done it. Nothing. I love the Recording Academy. I'm just not going this year. I'm not going back until I'm nominated. That just fell out of my mouth. Like I meant
Power to tongue. Come on now.
but I didn't know that I just called it into existence because I said I ain't going back until I'm nominated.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got nominated for this project that I did as a collaborative effort. Collaborations are definitely king when you could get together and build something beautiful together.
Agreed.
Let me tell you something. It's nothing like a team that could come together and win.
Mm-hmm.
And that's exactly what happened. But it was just organic. It just happened.
So
And then I'm scrolling and I said, what? So now I'm backtracking. I'm trying to find, because it was like 7:30 in the morning and they run like, it's like a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
You watch, okay, nominations for, with that voice.
Yeah.
And it rolls out. So I had to go back and I watched it. I'm like, oh my God, clutch my pearls. Lord have mercy.
Not clutching the pearls.
What? I was like, oh. So, yeah. It was just like on a humble.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how it happens. Listen, if something is for you,
Amen.
it's for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know I spoke it into existence, but honey, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it happened.
And that's the best. It just sounds like it's real organic. That's the best way to go. Just like when you try to push the envelope so much, it's like you trying to do the work that God's gonna be doing, right? It's like, hey, I'm in control. I can do this and that. But sometimes it's just like, I'm gonna do my part. I usually just sit back and just being humble and then look what happened. And you spoke what that.
Happened. And like I'm very like simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm believe it or not, I'm an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lot to myself.
Same.
I'm very happy in my corner. I don't, it's cool. Like the whole artist thing. Yeah, but I mean, that's that.
Yeah.
And then there's me. So it's like, that was like huge.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my.
So what was those emotions like? I can only imagine I'm asleep, waking up.
Yeah, just going on with my day. Right. I'm just going on with my day is normal. And then, like, man, I said, nah.
Not me.
Yeah, but nah, like, whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Like this?
So what comes next after that, right? Because I don't know the process as far as like, even it being like a voter and stuff like. So this is kind of break down one getting nominated, the process of that, and also like being a voter. Like how does it come about being able to be a voter for the Grammys and stuff as well?
Okay, so those of you that are creatives in the music business are professional. They got 2 memberships. One is a professional membership. So if you work like as a manager or PR or whatever, as artist support, whoever's in the Recording Academy could write a recommendation for you. So now it's recommendation based. So you need 2 recommendations. It could be a non-Recording Academy recommendation as well. But, it might be better to have somebody that's in the academy that's vouching for you. I really don't know because I don't make that decision. It's above my head. But or if you are a musician, you could become a voting member. So professional members don't vote. So the award is given from your peers. So we listen to the music that come up for all the different categories, and then we say, oh, we like this. Okay, I'm going to vote for this. I'm going to vote for that. And that's how we end up with the nomination. So enough people found that the project, The Fury, it got nominated for Best Contemporary Blues Album. See, another leg. They found it worthy enough for a nomination. Enough people voted for it, so now it's nominated. Now we're in second round voting. Now this round is what determines who now wins each category and gets to take their statue home.
That's dope.
So that's how that works. So we're in second round voting right now. So I got to make sure Sunday I'm going to allocate my time to sit down and now vote for the different categories. And at that point, you don't know anything until February 3rd, I believe, is the actual Grammys.
So can you vote for yourself? I mean, maybe
you
not.
Can. Of course you can.
Okay. At least they allow you to do that.
You can.
That one vote matter.
Yeah. You definitely could cast a vote for yourself. So voting, again, very important. So I know a lot of times like we hear Jay-Z or this one and everyone's talk about or this one never got a Grammy, Snoop never got a Grammy,
Yeah.
but are y'all in the recording academy making
Yeah.
a difference?
Facts.
Because you can't stand out here and then yell about you not getting nominated or you're not being active and you're not voting.
Right.
So you got to actually join and
Just
then
like the other
be a
process.
part of the
Yeah.
solution,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, because just talking about it not gonna help. Getting your hands dirty, getting your feet down on the ground, boots on the ground. That's where that real work come in and progression comes in, and that makes a lot of sense there.
Yes. So join and be active.
So I know you said as far as recommendations, but so it was just simple as, hey, if I recommend you, and so after the recommendations are done, they submit it to somebody else and they make the final agreement, or as long
so like it's not like automatic. You know, you get 2 strong recommendations. It goes now to your peers, whoever's on those boards that make those decisions, and they decide whether you're gonna get in. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen the first time. It'll happen the second time or whatever. Sometimes it means you need to put more work in.
Yeah.
Now, previous to that, like the stipulation was, I think you had to have like 12 commercial recordings and this and that and that and this.
That was my next question as far as the accolades you may have needed.
So when I had put in before, it was recommendation, you had to have all these things. And I think you still have to have those. So as a voting member. So a professional member is different.
So what is professional member? What is their role into it then? So they can't vote.
Well, no, they don't vote, but it's nice to still be part of the collective because the networking.
Yeah, for sure.
And you want to be active, within your chapter. They have an Atlanta chapter here, so I mean, it's really good to build the relationships.
Relationships are very important.
Relationships are
you're in.
everything.
Yep,
they really are. So. So yeah, I would recommend if someone wanted to become a member, whether it's voting or whether it's professional, I would do it.
Right, that sound interesting to me. And get some weight up in there real because I got friends and stuff who make some music, and I know a guarantee who doesn't want to be nominated for a Grammy one day, no matter what genre it is. But who wouldn't want to do that, right? But I know you say you've been to one of the events, right? So how was that for somebody who hasn't gone? What was that experience like for you? Just not even just being nominated, but being able to attend and go. So like, what was that like? I hear a lot of good things, a lot of bad things, but for you personally, what was your experience
about
there?
the Grammys awards itself?
Yeah.
Oh, it's music's biggest night, for a musician to watch your peers and watch people that you aspire to one day now be able to walk across that stage. It's great. I enjoy it thoroughly. I enjoy it. So, and it's a nice time in LA. And there's other things that are going on.
I can only imagine.
Meet and greets and different parties and dinners and stuff like that. So you get to see people that you might only see once a year or two. So it's nice. It's nice for networking.
Yeah, one day you're gonna see me there one day. But so to move on for a second, right? And it's still, of course, dealing with your music. So if you could name, this is just a pop-up question for you, right? If you could name 5, well, I'll give you 3. 5's probably a lot. No, even 4. 4 artists that you could dream to work with, whether they're dead or alive, who would they be? Will collab with on a record?
Whitney Houston.
Oh, she already got him.
Oh my God.
Whitney the GOAT.
Stephanie Mills. Y'all might not, maybe.
I'm aware of
Okay.
Steph. Yeah.
Celine Dion.
Whitney, Stephanie, Celine. One more. Who is it? Because if you go on that route, I'm thinking about a name that you probably
Luther
wouldn't.
Vandross.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, sure.
The list goes on.
Yeah. I'm
gonna give you one more. Give me that 5th person.
Today, I'm gonna go with somebody from today. Like I always wanted to do something with Brian McKnight. You know,
like
and you
that.
know who else? Not Jaheim. Raheem Devon.
Okay.
I like him too. You know, it's just so I don't know. I like a lot of different kinds of music and stuff like that. So
I see. No, that's I like that lineup. So one person, why Celine Dion?
Oh my God.
I mean, I know why, but I can only why Celine.
Because I mean, she's she's a vocal like powerhouse, just crazy. Her range is just so bananas, and really for me, I want to learn from her. Like when I was back then with the CDs and reading the lyrics and in my bedroom, trying to sing like Celine Dion, Whitney Houston and stuff. These are my teachers. Melissa Morgan too. She's a beast. She's still active. But yeah, it was just, why not?
Yeah. I only imagine.
That's the epitome of female vocalists. Mariah Carey too. Like these are them.
Yeah.
Patti LaBelle. Like
there we go. So was you I guarantee it's probably yes too, but just hearing some people you naming, it sounds like Adele would be somebody as well to get into the booth.
Yes.
With.
God, yes. Like, that's where it's at. Yeah. When you talk about singing.
Yeah, because Adele got that range, man.
They singing.
Yeah.
Aretha Franklin, like, these are, like, they get to the heart, soul, and core of your whole being. That's what you want. Like, for me, anyway. I want to be able to just lose myself in them, and they seem like they would be like, daughter, okay, we're gonna do it like this. You know what I mean? Those are the people that hear those things, because like I know I have a lot of stuff in here, but they gonna hear it and tell you how to use it too.
They can pick that and bring it out. Yeah,
girl,
that ears. Yep.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? So I love Faith Evans too.
Okay, I love Faith too.
What?
And then you gotta throw just from you naming as well, you gotta throw a Teddy Swims in there, just for like a more modern day.
Let me tell you, I saw him. The Recording Academy had an intimate, up close and personal on my birthday, September 16th this past year, and I got to meet him. It's on my Instagram. But anyway, listen, you talking about a stripped down set, pretty much. Acoustic in this small little pub.
Spread go crazy in them acoustic sets, man.
His voice is so powerful. It's pure. He's so authentic and he's so vulnerable all at the same time. Like, he sang down and wasn't even trying. Like, he's a beast. And not only that, he got it out the mud.
You can tell.
He got it out the mud. He started and he is so like, man, listen, I could just go on and on and on.
I guarantee
y'all go ahead and y'all go find some of his old stuff, which he says was terrible when he was doing like thrash metal or whatever and stuff like that in these different bands. But artists, this is how you learn your craft, by trying different things, trying and failing, seeing where you fit. But all of those different things and styles that you learn and you come into and you put it into one, that's what you got with him.
That's that creativity. So I remember the first time I heard of him, of course, it was just off random. I was on Instagram and scrolling. It was a video. I don't know if he was in a mall or whatever, but the guy was playing the piano and he was singing. But sometimes when I'm on IG, I scroll, the volume won't be on. But I kind of passed it and went back. I seen how you can see the passion he was singing at. So I hit that unmute button and I heard like, golly, who is this? And then ever since then, I was hooked.
Like he is it. And then he's nice.
Well, okay, I can see that. Yeah, Russ seemed very humble and down to earth.
Give me a big old hug. I was like, oh, yeah. So that's important.
Yeah,
it's what they say. It's more important to be nice than to be important. Or what was this saying?
I can't remember the whole saying, but I understand the gist of it though. Because it's like, who wants to? You can have all this and have all that, but if you're not likable, and let me say this, not just influence, but positive influence. Who wants to learn from you, be around you, listen to you, take advice from you? If you just is arrogant, egotistical person, just because you know you the shit, and it's like, I'm already hearing you there, but you gotta strip yourself of all that.
Yeah, because people are people at the end of the day. You know, I don't care how rich you are. I don't care whatever you have. At the end of the day, those are things.
Yep.
It's about the person. And be a good person.
Yes.
Yep.
Have to be a good person. But so again, I do love all those names you named and whatnot. So I don't want to get into being an author and of course the fitness as well. Before I transition there, as far as musically for you, what do you have coming up next as far as whether it's EP, album, singles, like what's in the works for you musically right now?
Okay.
If you can, whatever you can talk about, if you don't want to release, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
it's
whatever you're
cool.
going to put out there.
I'm going to be dropping a remix for Queen of the Hustle.
Okay.
So that's coming before the
Who
end
gonna
of the
be
year.
on it? Or is just a personal remix?
What'd you say?
So who gonna be on it, or just is another version you gonna drop?
I don't know.
Okay, all right.
We'll
We gonna see.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. I'm currently promoting my Christmas album. So that's out, and that's the gift that keeps giving every year.
Of course,
Monique
perfect
Nikkole,
timing.
Christmas, and y'all can catch me on Fox, Good Day New York, Christmas Day. Check my page for details.
Let's do it.
My body of work is gonna be dropping mid-January, and that's called Enigmatic. And that would also include Queen of the Hustle and Red Bottoms and Lingerie that I did with Lil Flip. I put that on.
I forgot to touch on that one. I listened to that one as well.
That's what earned me my Billboard charting status.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Billboard. Hey.
You
Yeah, that
got it
was
going.
like that was another one. I was like, oh my God.
How you find out about that when you got?
Well, that I was watching.
Okay, you said I'm tuned in
No,
now.
I was watching the charts and I was like, okay, top 40. I think we wound up being 34 on the Urban AC charts for Billboard. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
More flowers for that
Thank
too.
you.
More flowers
Such
for
as
that.
a small independent label and artist, that stuff is hard.
Yeah. So again, like before we do exit, so that process, right? Being able to chart on the Billboard and just have your voice being heard in your project, just to be able to start from not saying zero, but start from when you created to now it's on this list and it's going up, 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 up. So how do you, is it just going out doing the PR runs and this and that? Like how do you get that to just rise and for it to even be saying, hey, we on the Billboard and it's moving up? So what is that like?
To do it, or what does it feel like?
Well, with the both, like the process to do
the
it,
process
and then
is always record promotion. Like you gotta promote the record. You have a record promotions guy that is making sure that he's taking it around to the radio stations and that your record is going where it needs to go. So everything is budget.
Oof, I can only imagine.
Everything is budget. Nothing happens, nothing moves unless you have a budget to be able to do it and to sustain it. Unfortunately.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know
it's
what I'm
the
saying?
music business.
That's
so
it's
like,
a business. Yeah. So that's pretty much how that happened. But it was like just weird watching my record with like Justin Bieber record, and like it's like, oh my God, look at me and look at the company that's around.
Yeah, like you on that mix is like it's a blessing.
My name is up there with all of these big people on the charts, and I just remember screenshotting it and saying, oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, like wow.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Lil Flip.
Right, it was like Lil Flip, a legend out here for real. So how did that collab? How did you meet him? How did that collab come about?
Okay, so my manager, Michael Stemley, knew his people and reached out to his people when the record came on the table, which actually he picked. J. Hot Scott again, produced that, and C. Scott. There was a collaboration, 2 producers. They put that together, and he was like, yeah, I was like thinking a girl, to put a girl rapper on there. And he was like, well, what about Flip? And I'm like, I don't know. He's like, yeah. So that's pretty much how it happened.
Man, them relationships come through every time, don't it?
They do. And he's so cool, like so chill.
Yeah.
Good people.
So again, like that all in your musical career, like again, flowers to you again for those accomplishments you've been making. Because again, it's tough. I can guarantee it. The music business sometimes is cutthroat. I can always hear the industry is not always as pleasant as it may seem. There's a lot of backdooring going on, a lot of scamming, a lot of trifling and stuff like that. So being able to still stay here today and to navigate and to want to continue to navigate it, kudos to you for that. Because it can I can hear it can be very stressful and very just daunting on somebody's mind, body, and soul to where, I'm done with this. Like it's not what I thought it was as a kid growing up seeing X, Y, and Z. Is now just, it's not appealing no more. But because you still got the faith and the hustle to do it, congrats to that. So don't stop and keep going. So building off of that, where did becoming an author come into play from? I'm making music and now I want to sit here and put my life and my things, or just my thoughts and progress in the business inside of a book. So how do you transition to that, or just include it into your life?
It's one of those things that kind of happen. Like I've always written. Like I started out writing poetry and stuff. I should actually put that into print as well. But with this, my marketing lady at the time, Donna Lisa Johnson, she actually did the layout design for the book. She was like, you need to put together a journal. You need to do a book because you need to share the story on how you lost this 40 pounds. She was like, there's a lot of people out there that need to know. So that's how it came about. And for me, it was just something that I was doing and it worked for me. And I maintained it. I lost the weight like 10 years ago. But people were always DMing me through the years. Oh, what are you eating? What did you do?
Don't get them questions.
And me, and I'll be giving out the game because I'm not one of those that's like, oh, I'm a dude. Not no shade to anyone that's selling information. That's cool. But if you come and you ask me, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So she was like, put it in a book. She's like, that's a product. And I'm like, okay. And that's what happened. Like you'll have my before and afters in there. I was running too at the time. I ran New York City Marathon and I ran Chicago Marathon and a whole bunch of other multiple distances in between. I used to run a lot. So I have a running guide in there. I have what I did nutrition wise, and there's stuff that you could download from my website in addition to the book. Inside, you could write down, you write all your goals in the beginning so that you could watch. And, you know, when you memorialize things and you write it down, and we've gotten away from writing a lot now in this generation. Everything is technology and texting, but it's different. It feels different and makes it real when you actually put pen to paper. And I still write my songs on paper.
That's good.
So write it down. Your water intake chart is in there. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, you know, how you felt that day. Motivational quotes on every page because it gets hard. Sometimes you need to tell yourself it's okay.
You got this.
And be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. Sometimes we fall down. Yeah, you're going to eat a burger. It's going to happen. So now we're not going to be sitting here talking about beating yourself up now for days about it. You ate it. Okay, now go get on the elliptical.
Exactly. That's how you bounce back. Yeah, we got cravings here and there, this and that, but as long, like you say, you motivate yourself, and you got the support for things like this book to keep you on track. For anybody who's trying to go on a weight loss journey or just get healthy as well. But for you, was it something where it was like you were sick, or you were just like, I'm just not comfortable with how much I weigh, I just want to just lose this weight, and you just started it?
I was always small. I had my daughter. I bounced back to like a size 4 or 6 or whatever. I was always little. And then after I had my son, I had gone up to like a 12, maybe even a 14. Come down to that. And that's not big. But for me, my frame, that was big for me. You understand? So I said, nah, I can't. I don't even know who this person is in the mirror right now. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, I'm going to get me an elliptical. So got the elliptical.
That's West.
And I got on there 3 times a week for a half hour. And I started to cut sugar out of my diet and cut white bread and rice and everything. But it wasn't cold turkey. I did it. It took me 8 months. You want to know why? Because there's no quick fix to weight loss. Weight loss is a lifestyle.
Exactly.
So in order to adapt it as a lifestyle, it takes time to fall into a lifestyle. You can't just turn it off and on like that.
That's that discipline.
But you have to build towards that, right? So I'm not into the quick fixes because you're just gonna bounce right back. And then a lot of times when you do the quick fix, you wind up bigger than what you started when you lost. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta, and listen, you do what works for you again. But I find that your mindset, like with anything else, if it starts up here.
Exactly.
So, and that's what helps to guide you through. So it's just my personal story put in here with some before pictures and after pictures. And that picture actually I was competing women's health magazine cover. I made it to like the top 5 or something like that.
That's still amazing.
So I was, yeah,
For
you can't
sure.
really, you can't see, but there's more pictures in there. I was really, I mean, I was cut. I'm not cut like that anymore. I had really gotten I was too small there for me at that. Yeah, I was really small, you know. So and then depending on what I'm doing, like music wise, like when I was shooting a video for Red Bottoms and Lingerie, I wanted to have a little bit more like cushion. So I'm like, all right,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, let me put on a little weight. So, you know, just it kind of fluctuates and it just depends on what you're doing. Like you want to be harder, you lift more weights. You want to be softer, more cardio. You know, you balance it out, whatever works for your body type and what you're trying to attain at the time. So
understood. So a Simple Fitness Journal. Make sure y'all get a copy of that as well. What can they find it at? Amazon. On Amazon to grab that. So it's the one thing you said right that I love to touch on. You said mindset. So I'm real big on mindset and just like mental aspects of things, right? Yes. So for you, when there's like a time of whether it's self-doubt, just one of those bad rainy days, or hey, I got writer's block, or just you may be going through anything mentally, right? What does it look like for you to just find that solace and peace to bounce back just mental wise? Like whether it's like walks in the park, prayer, journaling, meditation, like what is your go-to for of course not like a fix, but a mental reset to get back to like just get grounded? What does that look like for you?
Well, the first thing I do usually, like if I feel like I'm stressed or I'm hitting a wall, writer's block or something, I'm like a 5-year-old. I run to my room because I need quiet. I need to quiet it down, bring it down, and then now try to sort it out.
Yeah.
You know, and I pray on it. Exercise helps too.
I hear that a lot.
That helps
exercise
a
relieve
lot.
A lot of stress.
Yeah. It helps to relieve the stress. So yeah, I gotta find my quiet corner. Like I have to. Like
trust me.
yeah, like I need that. That helps me to reset and just slow everything down because my mind is always on 100. Because I have so much going on, especially as an entrepreneur, as a mother, as a wife. I have a lot going on. So, yeah, I have to find those quiet pockets, even if it's just in my car.
Hey, where you can get peace and quiet, you got to go get it. Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and then, all right, I'm back in the world again, ready to fight. But, yeah, you got to definitely find that little bit of me time.
Yeah, you have to, because it's like how I feel. How can you like I say your mom, wife, entrepreneur, you singing? I guarantee that cup sometimes get empty, right? So how you got all these other people who may need something from you, but how do you expect to give someone 80%, 20% if you're not filled yourself right 100% yourself? We may not ever be at a full 100%, but how can you give and you empty on the inside? So sometimes you got to pull back and reflect like, hey,
yes,
I hear y'all, I see y'all, but
you got to say no.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing there.
I know I used to have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it anymore.
That takes practice for sure.
Yeah, like, no, I can't. I'd love to, but I can't. Because I just can't.
Gotta put yourself first.
Yeah, because listen, it's real. Like when you get to that point where you are so full and you're overflowing, everything want to shut down.
Yep.
That it's not a good feeling. Been there, done it.
I say been there. Yeah, I know it.
Listen, I could wear the T-shirt, you know, where everything is blowing up at one time. So yeah, you just gotta back up and take a nap.
Yep.
Whatever.
Yeah, I always can get you a good nap in.
Yeah, like just bring it down.
Because like for me, if I'm ever going through in a tough mental space, I enjoy it's a lake near. Go out on the lake and it's a pier. Just I can sit there all day. Just it's just getting in tune with nature, but it's just because it's so quiet. You can really hear life. Like you're hearing the natural sounds of life. It's peaceful. It's calmful.
Yes.
Go out there and go fish and throw a rod out. Just sit there and just wait or read a book or meditate and stuff. But a big thing that helped me out was going to therapy. Like coming out of the military at one point, what I was doing out there didn't so much translate to back to the civilian world. So it was just like, yo, what I'm about to sit here and do, and it kind of put me in a funk at a certain position in my life. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just go and speak to somebody who one, want me so biased, and two, they know nothing about me, right? So therefore, I'll be able to open up and speak my truth and traumas and stuff or whatever I'm going through and get the response that I need. Because at certain times, all we really need is just to hear something we never heard before. Because maybe that will trigger like, okay.
Yes.
Now I can move forward and here and there. Because I never heard it from this aspect or this point of view to where I was just clouded. But now that I heard it and seen that, it give you a good refresh. It give you a good train of thought and just a different mindset to move forward and grow. So, but like just being mentally tough, you say you do it?
I agree with therapy.
I mean, some people shy away from it, but it's the best thing I could ever done for myself. Because you can sit here and don't know that I'm going through so much because of something that I experienced as a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old. But I thought that was so long ago. That's not what it is now. But little do you know, sometimes our inner child is in there still crying out for help because it was never either addressed or healed. And as an adult, yes, we may be growing up and living to what we're doing now, but we still have those memories. And sometimes our subconscious mind is still like, hey, this instant thing that happened now is going to trigger something that was like, you may not know if that happened years ago. So going to therapy, you talk it out, you talk through it. They ask you certain things that take you back in time to say, hey, wow, that did kind of affect me. And I see how it may not be the same thing, but it translates to my adulthood and just like, that's why I am so secluded now. Or when somebody say this and that, I shy away. But therapy is one of the biggest keys, like prayer, therapy, and just taking that time off is one of those main things. So, but it's beautiful to see that you actually take time to progress and grow your mental aspect as well. A lot of people don't do it, but I feel they should though.
Oh, definitely, because the mind leads the body.
Mm-hmm.
It all starts up here. Mm-hmm. So if you're not taking care of your mind, you're gonna have some issues.
Right.
Yeah.
If you get cut in your leg or your wrist, you go to the doctor and get that looked at. So why not? Your mind and your head is the same thing as the rest of your body. You got to take care of it like if you was to break your leg. So all makes sense. All makes sense. But so before we get up out of here, right? I love to ask my guests, because you never know who's watching this podcast, right? Maybe young girl, young boy, older, younger, whatever it is. So, and they may have interest into the path you have chosen in life. So if you could, what advice would you give them, whether it's advice, motivations, pointers, or tips, either way, it's like navigating the music industry or writing their first book. So what could you tell them to help them out to get them up off their butt or just to get them in a good space to get going?
Well, God gives us gifts and he gives them to us to share. So if you could find out what your gift is, cultivate it. If it's music, practice. Writing, everything is practice and repetition. Development is very important. And just keep going for it. Be relentless about the things that you want. And don't sacrifice your integrity to get what you want. Because it's going to come. It's going to come. Just stay on the right side of things. And it's okay that it may not be happening as quickly as you want it to happen, because most things that happen quick aren't good for you. So you got to put the work in. Like, your dreams require work, and in order, you got to put the work in to make the progress. So just work, cultivate your talent, don't sacrifice your integrity, and be nice. Be nice.
Facts. Now, that was good advice. So, I say cultivating your talent, stand for something, you don't fall for anything pretty much, and pretty much keep your mind on right and keep going. So, but again, having said that, it was a blessing to have you on this platform. Like I said, my whole goal is to just let people know who people really are as a person, right? Sometimes we may get on these microphones in front of a camera and, we step outside of the house. That, not saying it's a facade, but that, it's action mode come in, but I just wanted to dive in and let people get to know who you are. But before you do leave, tell everybody where they can find you at. Yes. Your last couple of updates coming up, and just talk to your people, and that's it.
All right. Well, you can find me, Monique Nikkole, MoniqueNikkole, everywhere. So if it's .com, Google me. That's my at everything. So that's how you can find me. And I'm be on Fox. I said that already.
Yeah.
Christmas Day. And my album will be dropping the second week of January, Enigma. And I think that's it. And my Christmas album is out right now, Monique Nikkole. It's Christmas.
So y'all know it's at Christmas time,
it's
man.
Christmas time.
They always skip Thanksgiving and go straight to Christmas, but it's all good.
Isn't
It's
that
all
something?
good. Yeah, it happens every
But you
year.
know, the stores already got stuff for Valentine's Day.
Right.
Now. But yeah,
Crazy.
y'all Google me and find me and reach out to me and let's have a conversation.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for coming through. And as always, guys, I am Sir Gates. You can find me at Sir Gates BC, SRRGATESBC. Make sure you follow the podcast and hear the podcast. That is NHERITD podcast. Go to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you turn on that notification bell. But until next time, we'll see y'all and we out. Y'all have a good one.